All right. Let's see if the Wi-Fi works this week. Sorry again about the rescheduling, guys, but it's just been, you know, a time. July is usually my most busy month in terms of going places and doing things. For the most part, usually I stay pretty stationary in one spot, but during July, things happen. I go up to the cottage a lot more because it's like 4th of July, so obviously. But I also had the opportunity to visit with my good friendo, Balik, if you're familiar with Balik. We went to college together. And I have a surprise for you also, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the stream, Chaos Eve. She is not replacing Polly. He should be here at some point, but he's his surprise.
Hi, guys. How's it going?
How are you, my dear?
Tired, frustrated, but otherwise good.
That's good. Good.
Long day at work, so.
I feel that. I spent a grueling several hours working on, the job apps, which is super discouraging. But then I spent another several hours working on the YouTube video, which is live for members, by the way, members on the Patreon as well as members on the YouTube. So you can totally check that out once you guys are done if you are a member. But it took a while. It took a while, and that was because there were a lot of graphics involved. There were some transitions I had to iron out, and then I had this wonky idea to turn myself, my Weebo avatar character, into Miss Andrew. So that involved some photoshopping, but it didn't pan out because I didn't have enough time to. Otherwise, this video would be out next week instead of today. So I'm going to be working on that aspect of the Weebo avatar so that I can use it at a later time for another video, which I think would be super fun if I had different characters for the avatar, just to utilize that a little bit more. I'm excited. I'm tired. I don't know if you guys saw, but I posted something on Instagram. It was basically me getting my ass handed to me by my cousin on a tube on the water. So that was my weekend.
Weebo was getting tubed to death.
Yeah, I was. He sent me flying directly over El Boyfriendo in the video. You can actually see that. And then I just kind of toppled off. So I'm like, fuck, no, I actually dislocated my shoulder a little bit. And then Balik kicked El Boyfriendo in the head when they went out on the tubes. And then he bodied him in the head a second time. So El Boyfriendo was not doing so hot on Saturday when that happened.
So I'm going to go out on a limb and say there's possibly some I don't know, maybe Balik's jealous that El Boyfriendo gets to spend so much time with you. I don't know.
No. It was
like
completely on accident. There was no possible way that he could have controlled the way that he fell, the way that my cousin drives the boat when we're tubing. It's absolutely impossible to control yourself and to not fall off at certain points. Like, it was completely by accident. Plus, they have a love child together. His name is Alexios, and he's like a Spartan Greek warrior. It's their way of teasing me. It's a really weird thing that the boys do.
I mean, I've had weird things with my friends. I've had weird inside jokes, but a love child together, and he's a Spartan.
He's not real. Spartan. He's a Greek Spartan, but he's not real.
Obviously, he's not real. That would be very difficult for them to pull off.
Yeah. Yes, Alexios is their love child, and they concocted him to mess with me.
Wow.
While at college. Yeah.
How'd that go for them?
They still do it. It's been 2 years.
No, I mean, like, as far as messing with you, does it actually mess with you, or is it just like, okay, whatever, y'all are just being weird?
It's just one of those, like, my best friend and my boyfriend are flirting in front of me. What the fuck?
I mean,
it's just one of those things nowadays.
Basic weebs, you're in a love triangle.
It's okay. I flirt with Balak's girlfriend. It works out in the end. Plus, it brings us closer together as a group of friends. Not in that way.
That comes across. Yeah, no, I'm just gonna leave that there.
Not in that way. Not in that way.
I'm just gonna leave that there.
You wouldn't understand unless you were in the friend group. Oh, and here's Polly. Polly, do you like my surprise?
Polly.
Hello.
Polly.
Hi.
Do you like my surprise?
Hello. Yay, Eve. How's it going?
Hi, Polly.
How's things?
Just a little bit. Things are awful. Things are dreadful. I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Well, you know, you never feel quite so foolish as when you're wondering why your headphones aren't working because they're not plugged in.
Also, is your camera on? Because you got a giant black screen. I don't see your face, so don't worry. But
no, I'm just like looking at buttons. Oh yeah, it is on there.
Oh.
Oh, I don't have an avatar up either. Yay! All kinds of great things.
Polly is just a black screen then, guys. Now you know.
I am a black nebulous form sitting in shadows. It's true.
It brings a new meaning to the term black-pilled, I think.
He
is. So I didn't get a chance to read these off last week because for whatever reason Streamlabs was not working, but I will read them off now. Thank you from Alpha and Omega who donated $10 to say some money for ammo. Much obliged. And then the next 6 minutes donated to say, is Weebs changing colors or did I have a long day? At any rate, this is a damn good content creator with damn good content and damn good merch. Get a coffee mug, get a t-shirt, sub to both Weebo and Paul if you haven't already, fist bumps. And yes, you should totally do all of those things. Shh. Be quiet. Yes, thank you for donating last week. I'm sorry that we couldn't read it until this week, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles, unfortunately. Deep sad. And then, Polly, I think you also had some too, so get on that, boy.
I'm trying. Damn it. Hold on. I'm doing things. Stuff is happening.
But yes, I am getting darker. I am changing skin color, and it's not because I'm black facing. It's just because I've been out in the sun.
Are you sure? I think that's a black thing, to be out in the sun and turn darker and just to be black.
No, I do it naturally. Thank you. Excuse me.
You're just appropriating people's culture. It's okay. It's fine.
I'm appropriating the sun to my skin.
I mean, we've had our culture appropriated enough. Maybe you should just appropriate some back.
I guess I could do that.
You know, it's funny because I've been listening to these, like speaking of culture and stuff, I've been listening to these novels lately, the Iron Druid series, to anybody who's heard of them, about a guy who was a druid, like born like 2,000 years ago, and he's through the process of just being smarter than most of the people around him, being more clever, being just that kind of clever, kind of like, you know, a Doctor Who type of character where he's just a little bit more clever than everyone else around him, and managed to live up to modern day and stuff. But he talks a lot about Irish culture and heritage and going all the way back to not just modern and then, you know, the past couple of centuries, but even going all the way back as far as like, you know, Celtic heritage and things like that. And it makes me realize just how much, you know, it's never one of those things I ever really thought about was like my culture, my heritage, where my people come from and stuff. And so it's been a really interesting exploration of that kind of, that aspect of myself anyway. Because I've thought about, you know, I have Irish heritage, obviously. But,
I hadn't noticed.
You hadn't noticed. But, no. But it's been interesting hearing about some of it and thinking about it a lot lately. So I while it's not something I take super seriously, you know, like a lot of people do, it's never one of those things I've thought about until now. So
it is something interesting to kind of delve into if you want to discover more about maybe perhaps why certain family customs are the way that they are, or things that have maybe didn't seem all that like unorthodox to you, but for whatever reason are just something that you do in your family versus other people's, and maybe it is something that's passed down from the many ancestors ago and something that they used to do, or certain features too, and why they are the way that they are based off of geographical locations of your ancestors too. That's super fascinating. I think from an origin perspective, why things are the way that they are, you have to go back several decades, if not centuries, to kind of discern that. And then genealogical studies too are super fascinating. So if you ever had a chance or someone who's a relative that does dive into that, might perhaps want to check it out. You might be like related to someone who signed the Declaration of Independence. Or what?
I am related to someone famous, but I can't tell you their name because I could tell you their name, but I wouldn't. You wouldn't.
Are they alive?
No.
Okay.
I can't tell you their name because it might. I don't want to. It's kind of distant. I don't know if I should say.
You don't have to say. Don't worry about it. Don't give the crowd too much information.
It's one of those things of kind of like, I'm pretty sure it's by marriage through somebody, something or other, or left, right, center. I'm not exactly sure, but somehow I'm related to Bob Hope. So, like,
I don't know who that
somewhere
is.
Back there. Polly probably does.
What is a Bob Hope?
Polly, do you know who Bob Hope is?
Yeah, he was the sixth Beatle, right?
Never mind.
He's a stand-up comedian, vaudevillain. What's a vaudevillain?
Vaudevillian.
Oh. What?
Vaudeville?
Can you explain?
You don't know what vaudeville is? It's like it's kind of hard to describe. There's like variety show people that would do like magic shows and like one-liners. It was like pre-stand-up comedy before stand-up comedy was a thing. It's like back in the day, pre-television entertainment.
Okay. He was an actor, singer, dancer, athlete, and author. So he's a jack of all trades in the show business then, I guess, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he got around, man. He worked for decades.
Yeah, he's a big deal.
Yeah, he was a big deal back in the day. Yeah, he's no longer with us, but and I never like met him or anything. Like he's that distantly related, but
So the one caveat I have to like finding out where you come from as a person, like in your culture, who it is you're related to or whatever. And this is really important because a lot of people don't take this into account is you are not your ancestors and or your relatives in any capacity. You are your own person. And this is so important because we live in a culture that equates people of the past to current day shenanigans, and that's a big part of the reason why the divide is so like extreme is people cannot separate the past from the present, and a lot of that has to do with, well, you're related to this asshole, or you could be related to this asshole, or you even just share the same skin color as this asshole, so therefore you follow under this category with said asshole just by the nature of this tenuous connection that you have to this person. And that's just ridiculous to me. But at the same time, there are people who take too much pride in their ancestry and turn it into just something to be proud of, to live up to, or whatever, that they are their ancestors in a way. And that's where you get a lot of the whole, like, I don't want to say race realism because that's not exactly what I'm going for, but you get some asshole who's like, oh, I'm related to this queen from this time period in this country. Yeah, okay, but didn't Europe also kind of marry in the family? So that means that somewhere down the line you have some seriously incestuous crossovers there. So is that really a bragging point? But anyway, just don't brag about it like it's something that you get to bank off of in terms of street cred, right? Because it's really not. It's not
even
anything to do with you.
Even as far as you said, family, but even as far as like, it's gotten to the point where you share the same skin color, therefore you are responsible for everything bad every white person ever did, et cetera, et cetera. And it's just like, but by that same tone, they can say, they'll go, well, I'm taking credit for every good thing every black person ever did. And it's like, no and no, because this person busts their ass just because they happen to share the same skin color as you doesn't mean that you get to take credit for their accomplishments. But by the same token, I'm not going to take, responsibility for something that every white person did once bad in the past.
Mm-hmm.
I had a friend of mine actually, when the riots and stuff started up, try to argue to me that, how was her phrasing? Something along the lines of, we need to feel guilty for what these things that have happened because white people did this, and we need to take that responsibility on so we make sure that we don't do that again. And I'm like, I looked at her and I was like, fuck that. I said, let me explain something to you, sweetie. I grew up in the church, very, very much in the church. And I spent my entire, probably the first 2/3 of my life for the most part, being made to feel guilty for every tiny little thing I did wrong. Even if there wasn't someone actively there shaming me, the thoughts were ingrained into my head so much that I shamed myself. It was so bad that, I think probably told the story before, but I've never told the story before. On my wedding night, when I got married, I had to, not even just my wedding night, for the first week after I got married, I had to convince myself that it was okay to have sex with my wife. I had to work through that mental block that I'd set up for myself because I had shamed and guilted myself into thinking that it was something so horrible and terrible to have sex outside of marriage that I was, so when she talks about using guilt as like some kind of catalyst, I'm like, I don't need that. You know what I have to tell me that I can do the right thing? I have the fact that it's the right thing to do, and I'm a good person, to motivate me to be a good person and to not be a racist and not be an asshole. I don't need somebody to guilt me into it. But I kind of went off on a tangent there.
No, that's a mood.
Yeah.
I'm currently in the process of trying to update the stream so that it sees all of Eve's links, but it's not doing that right now. So I apologize, Eve.
Oh, it's okay.
It seems my surprise has backfired erroneously. I apologize.
Just trying to be surprising.
So, Polly, how are you, dear?
Doing all right.
Just all right. How was your weekend?
Oh, I could get into it, but I'm not going to.
That's fair. A man of few words, apparently. That's odd.
That's boring.
Give
Give us something to work with.
But nah.
Yeah, it's kind of like. Yeah. So anyway,
I can tell you all what I did, but I don't want to talk about me anymore. I don't want to hog the show. So
all right, we'll talk about me because I'm important.
I agree with the statement.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So
because Polly gets no room to disagree. So sorry, Polly.
I want to talk about a video idea I have.
Okay.
It's okay. If this is acceptable.
It's totally unacceptable, but it's your channel, so we can't argue.
Yeah. So. Oh, and I see Alpha and Omega's in the chat right now. Thank you, Alpha and Omega. I read off your tweet, but if you want me, or not tweet, but your Streamlabs from last week, but if you want me to, I could totally do that again. Just so you hear it. Let me know. I can see the chat. But okay, anyway, so video idea. It's kind of something along the lines of, I'm thinking, you know how we have this progressive stack, right? And initially it was just anti-white male, and then it moved on to anti-white gay men, and then it moved on to anti-white and straight gay cis men, and then it moved on to all of that group, plus now it's white women, and then white lesbian women, and white cis women, and white straight women, and all that jazz. And we are slowly moving, I guess, down or up the progressive stack? Which way do you want to be? Like, do you want to be on the bottom of the stack or the top of the stack, depending on who it is you're talking to? But we're moving along the progressive stack towards groups that are supposedly on the stack more and more marginalized. And we keep coming up against these different examples, and it's going to get to a point, I kind of want to do like this rant video about how it'll eventually get to self-cannibalism, excuse me, I'm not even drinking, but it'll eventually get to this point of self-cannibalization. Self-cannibalization of the progressive stack within the progressive stack of people who are either above or below other members, attacking above or below other members because of this reason or this reason or this reason. I'm having trouble coming up with an origin point of like who came up with this or who has been initiating this necessarily, because I'd like to say the mainstream media has kind of pitted everyone against everyone else, but it seems like it's a collective effort on their part. I don't want to get super conspiratorial and whatnot, but I keep seeing patterns in the way that us as a society are going, and I can't not see them, and I can't help but wonder if like maybe this is by design. Thoughts, panel?
Well, for starters, it looks like you got the links updated properly. Second, yeah, no, I've definitely seen stuff of them eating themselves. Like when we say, the left will eat itself, we're not kidding, There was a thing in Canada a while back I saw where I want to say it was a pride march clashed with BLM people up in Canada. I don't remember exactly where, but it was one of those things that if you look at it and you go, who am I supposed to side with here? People are like, who's more, even though they say it's not about who's more oppressed, it does become a thing of who do you side with in that situation? Who's more oppressed? And are they going to continue to do it? Yeah, it's definitely going to happen. Are they going to actually learn anything from it? Probably not.
But I'm wondering, like, because we know that this is a thing, obviously. I'm wondering if it's by design, if it's intentional, if it's intended on some level to do that, if we're just subconsciously not meant to mesh well together as a species. Like, are we just destined to perpetually devolve into absolute shitfests? Or is there ever going to be a point in time when we've evolved beyond that? Because I thought we had for a time there. I thought we'd, at least in the United States, become a little bit more mature in that respect. But I don't know, maybe I was just limiting my worldview.
What do you think, Polly?
Oh, I don't have a worldview. I don't know.
You don't have a worldview?
No.
Not even a little bit?
No.
Will we ever get past it?
I don't know.
In this particular case, maybe. Like this particular issue, maybe. Humanity has always found ways to divide themselves, to pick things apart, to find ways to make somebody else other for various reasons. Sometimes it's fear. Usually it's fear. Lack of understanding something, you become afraid of it. It could go back as far as like the caveman days. The people from the other tribe might want to take stuff from your tribe, so you fear and hate them because They might come over and steal from you. They might come over and kidnap your women. They might come and steal your food. They might come over and just kill you just for the hell of it. And it goes back to that baser instinct of things that either we don't understand or are outside of our own personal circles are, I guess, scary, and because we don't understand them. So there will always be, I think, some sort of division. It will. The only thing that'll really change is what the face of it is. It could be right. I just got a donation on Streamlabs.
Well, yeah, I did put your Streamlabs in.
Thank you. Thank you, Lion Patriot, for the $5. He said, loves for Mama Eve because she's my friend. Oh,
Mama Eve is a good woman.
Donated to. I need to actually pull that one up. Anywho, it's really off-putting with fucking OBS talking in my ear.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize you had it hooked up to OBS. I just,
No, I do it because it's easier than having to open Streamlabs and pay attention to it. Somebody telling me in chat, so it'll just ding in my ear when it goes off. However, I've set it to where it talks, so.
Oh, that's how you set that up.
It totally fucked me up. So, because then I'm trying to speak and it's like it's talking in my ear.
Got him.
Thank you. Next 6 minutes. He said, "Everyone who isn't sub to Eve, do it now. Like right now, you like great gaming streams. You like great commentary. Well, you have no excuse. Then follow Awesome Chaos Eve. Thank you, 6."
I would also like to thank the next 6 minutes for the donation over on the Streamlabs. Good to know Weebo Jones is aerodynamic. Lol. I should Photoshop her head onto a flying fluffy squirrel. Ha! Anyhow, good to see you had an awesome weekend. I ever mentioned this girl has merch? Well, if I didn't, this girl totally has merch. Fist bump weeps. Yes, and the link is in the description because I remembered to put it there. Also, thank you to Lion Patriot who donated to say, our Conan base has advanced quite nicely, but it needs a woman's touch. Will you game with us tomorrow or Wednesday? I'll probably most likely game with you tomorrow. I gotta check the schedule because I don't know.
She has everything on like a spreadsheet. It's
I do.
It's hilarious.
Yes, tomorrow I'm free after work, so I'll hop in for a few hours after work. By the way, guys, if you would like to join our server over on the Discord, you can, and we can have game nights. By the way, this week we have movie night on Wednesday, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, and I believe currently we are watching, as far as I know, what has won the vote? Spaceballs. We are watching Spaceballs. I have not seen Spaceballs, but we are watching it. Hope it's not a porno.
It's not a porno.
Okay, good.
It's a joke. Star Wars. It just makes fun of everything.
Oh! I think I know which movie this is.
The one with Rick Moranis and stuff like that.
Darth Vader's space head thing. Mm-hmm. Yes, okay, I know exactly what this is.
So back to what I was going to say. There's always been something dividing us since the dawn of man. I mean, I think there will always be something. It may not be politics, but there will always be reasons. It's evidenced in our media, even about the future. One of the easily comes to mind references is the Deus Ex series, where they go into the future and people are getting cybernetically augmented and stuff. When this technology first comes about, there are people who are for it, obviously, because it's advancement. It's a way to improve the human body structure or replace missing limbs or things like that. But also there are people who are vehemently against it, even as going as far as like religious ideologue, levels against it. There's zealots over it, even going as far as perform terrorist acts and stuff because they are so against it. There's people regarding those who are mechanically augmented with hate and vitriol because you're one of them,
Yeah. Honestly,
And it's interesting to see how that kind of mentality is always present in some way, shape, form, or fashion in our cultures. But
honestly, I don't know what kind of video it would be. It's just an idea I had for a video at some point last week. I was like, this might be an interesting video, but how would I make it funny is the thing. Because at the end of the day, that's what the channel is about. It's about making people laugh, or at least having some sort of satirical spin take on a thing that's happening that's in pop culture, or just me being an angry bitch. I like to be an angry bitch.
I mean, being angry bitch is fun.
Yes, yes. And thank you, Lion Patriot, for reminding everyone in the chat that, yes, Polly also has Streamlabs. It's very important. Everyone's Streamlabs are linked in the description.
It's a myth. It leads nowhere. The funding goes to Black Lives Matter if you try and pay them.
No, it goes to the KKK. It's different.
Okay, I disavow on both sides. You trying to get me in trouble here?
I didn't say mine. Mine just goes into my pocket. His money goes to the KKK, though.
I feel so attacked right now, honestly. I have a question for Polly. Polly, have you ever gone water tubing?
No, I don't even know what that is. What's water tubing?
Oh, let's look at a fun little video that was taken of me this weekend. I will show you.
It's like, wow, I'm so glad you asked.
I'm so glad you asked. I have just the thing to show you of this. So basically, it's the ultimate punishment that your body can actually take, while not dying. Quite honestly. Chrome tab. There we go. I can share the audio. Actually, you know what? It's probably best if I don't share the audio because I don't want to get dinged for copyright. So we're just gonna play it. So Polly, are you looking? Are you looking?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Ready?
Yep.
What is going on? Oh no!
Oh, nice.
That looked like it was very close to a disaster there, but okay.
It hurt. I dislocated my shoulder a little bit there, but it was so much fun because it's like, you ever have a near-death experience and you're like, I want to do that again. That was that.
There was that. Yes. Did you get sunburned?
So, after the first sunburn of the season, I don't typically tend to get sunburn after that. I just kind of get darker. But
bitch.
I can tell you that El Boyfriendo got extremely sunburned.
Do you see this ivory?
Yeah.
You see this?
Yeah.
It is very vulnerable to the sun. I mean, look at this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm freckled all the way up my arms, but even still.
Mm-hmm. You look like a weak-ass vitamin D deficient bitch.
Yes, because I sit right here at this desk and do not go out there where the hateful sun lives. The sun that wants to eat my skin and wear it for a suit like a freaking Native American skinwalker. I mean, I don't know, that took that into a weird analogy, and I do not know where to take. I'm just going to leave that right there on the table. That's just
Are you in an okay place? Do we need to talk?
I am actually okay. I mean, frustrated right now with my TV, but otherwise okay. I went and bought a part to fix like a new circuit board for my TV to fix it, and it didn't fix it, and I'm frustrated because I don't know what's wrong with it now.
You just got to kick it. Just kick it a little bit.
Somebody else said take a hammer to it, and I'm like, that doesn't work with a $500 flat screen LED number. It just doesn't work.
Respect. Polly, I have a question.
Yeah, I'm. Polly, I have a question. I'm like,
Polly's up there working on his ivory tan too.
Yeah, no, Polly, do you tan or do you burn, or is it something in the middle?
I don't know. If I ever see the sun, I'll let you know what happens.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. You were a night walker.
No, I tan, but it doesn't take too long to burn. That kind of thing. I actually will tan, but it takes a while. Sunscreen is my friend.
What SPF do you use?
Well, I'm a skin cancer survivor, so I have strong feelings about such things.
Okay.
You are?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
I don't believe you.
Okay, you know what? You know. Chat. Let's have a quick talk, chat. I've told both of these women this before.
No shit.
I
so full of shit.
Okay, I know this is gonna be the reaction. That's why I'm talking to you, chat. Okay, I have told both of them this before. I told them the story of how it happened. I told them about the drug therapy. I have, and this is like,
you are so full of shit.
Lies and slander.
So
as the more sober of all of us, more frequently I deny this vehemently.
I specifically recall telling you
so
the story of the diagnosis and how horrible doctors could be, because they're just like, yeah, you got cancer, and I was like, what?
No.
Yeah, this, and then Weebo didn't get the diagnosis story, but she got the drug therapy story. I mean,
I didn't know you had skin cancer though.
Yeah, skin cancer with nodal involvement. It spread to my lymph nodes, and yeah, you guys have already heard this story.
Yeah, so I'm an insensitive bitch. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
I still don't believe you. I don't believe that I've heard this story, and I don't believe that you're telling the truth.
I never said insensitive bitch. That was your word. I merely strongly implied that you're both self-interested and oblivious. It's different.
I don't believe you.
Rough. Oof, that's the second time.
I just shared my truth about my cancer. And I was told that I was a liar. No, it actually didn't happen.
We believe survivors.
Yeah, right.
See about that.
Thank you to Unholy Reaper.
We believe survivors. Yeah, depends on what story they're
I
telling.
was about to say the same thing. I'm gonna check your donations too, Polly.
Yeah, Polly. Check your donuts. Because if I'm the degenerate number 2, then there must be a first one, and I hope there's a third one.
I'm degenerate 3.
Okay, so
thank you, Unholy Reaper says to degenerate 3. So if I'm 3 and you're 2, Polly must be 1. Check.
I'm waiting for my Streamlabs to load.
Are you being 100% serious? Like, we've had this conversation and I didn't remember it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't believe you.
So you've said.
Because you fuck with me so often about shit, and you can just carry a joke so far, and then you. So I can't tell if that chuckle is like just you just giggling at the situation, or if you're actually laughing because you're lying through your teeth.
No, I'm not. The situation. I mean, chat. You'd have to hear what it's like over in Discord. You can be like, guys, so I found out both my left and right leg have to come off. Oh my god, a squirrel!
Fuck you.
I have never been guilty of this. I always listen super attentively to Polydub.
Except when people are talking about their cancer survival. Jesus. Well, listen, I've learned to accept it in a strange sort of way. Like, you know, the way that you accept that an anvil could fall out of the sky and kill you, a la Looney Tunes at any moment. Yeah, okay, here, finally, I got super Streamlab chats. Yeah, let's go with that. Unholy Reaper, thank you very much. Always so generous to degenerate number 1. Who's number 1? This guy. That's right.
I can't believe I'm second fiddle on my own channel right now. Boy.
Well, I'm kind of a big deal.
At least you're not number 3. But you know what? I'm okay with being number 3. I'm okay with it.
Lion Patriot, thank you very much for the $10. I'm kin to one of the fellas that was sent from the. Oh, you're okay. I get it. Kin, as in I am related. I'm slow. It's fine. I'm kin to one of the fellas that was sent from the Alamo to get reinforcements. I can't remember which one though. Well, clearly one of the ones that survived.
Unless he had the kids before that, in which case, well,
he was sent to get reinforcements, and didn't come back. Apparently, found a wife and had some kids, and thus you're here. And we're kind of happy that your forebearer was a coward and didn't show because you wouldn't be here otherwise.
He was sent to get reinforcements, which means somebody told him to go. Not.
Yeah, he was following his orders.
Yeah, he was following orders.
Exactly.
I think implicit in the go get reinforcements was to come back with them. Now, they might not have actually said those words, but I think that it was directly implied.
Do you know how hard it is to get reinforcements, though? All right, the Spartans didn't reinforce for the what was it? The invasion of the Persians during the thingy with during the Battle of Marathon for a few days because they were busy celebrating and drinking because it's a big deal to do that before coming to the aid of your countrymen, although technically not countrymen, but still.
Not generalized countrymen. So anyway, and the next 6 minutes, thank you very much for the donation. Everyone helped this awesome otter and to assist him hold on, I lost the words. In his quest to find and build a new badass potato, do not fall for the anti-otter propaganda. Yeah, do not. All right, Alex is constantly talking about how otters are rapists. Now, I personally am not an actual otter, but I refuse to believe that those cute, furry river doggos are rapists. It's lies. Lies.
Let's be clear. There's a lot of rapists in the animal kingdom because that's how the rest of the animal kingdom behaves. So they don't care as long as they reproduce.
Rapist-isms.
Hold on, there's more. When this guy releases merch, buy it, my dudes. Oh, yeah, I was putting together the merch, and then it's a funny story about the merch. I'll tell that in a second. Buy it, my dudes. Hey, man, check your DMs. Okay, I will. And then finally, Alpha Omega, thank you for the $10. Use this for whatever debauchery suits you. Let me think. Liquor it is. Okay, thank you, Alpha Omega.
Liquor? I barely even know her. We understand. That one disconnected with Weebo.
No, I got it. And then I took a second because I'm trying to compose myself, except I can't. I am 12. I never grew up of my middle school phase. And you know what? That makes me forever young, just like the song. So it's okay. Thank you, Lord Tarek of Sarthos, who donated to say the degeneracy rankings are a performance-based metric. If you want that top spot, you need to earn it back. Hashtag make Weebo raunchy again. In due time, my lads. In due time. Oh, in due time. Okay,
so hold on.
I was going to ask about your merch.
Oh, yeah, the merch.
Yeah.
Me being who I am and thinking what I think looks cool. It's like, okay, here's this sexy lady with a gun. Because, noir-esque, comic booky, Frank Miller looking stuff. Fuck you, YouTube. Fuck you.
What?
I've got a second topic to go on a little thing about.
Okay.
Did 35 people just subscribe to me since last night, since I ended Noir Bar? No, 35 people didn't subscribe to me, but I'm up 35 subs. We'll get into that in a minute.
Okay.
Motherfucker. Anyway, just sexy girl with a gun. What's cooler, right? Woman under a street light and she's standing there with a pistol or whatever. I don't think that a lot of people are going to buy sometimes comic book scantily clad woman with a gun, sometimes dangerous femme fatale dame with a gun, or showing the leggings with the garter and stuff like that. Nothing. Yeah. She's not scantily clad. She's just showing the top of the leggings and the garter. You know what I mean? It's a hint, a little dash of sexuality. in a sort of like black and white high contrast image. You can't put that on a shirt. I've thought about it. I've asked people and they're like, no, man, because no one's gonna be able to wear that to work. No one's gonna be able to wear that to campus. They're gonna be, it's gonna be, oh, that's objectification and blah, blah, blah. And anything with guns, no one's gonna buy that. And I'm like, you know what? I think you might be right. I mean, I'd wear it. And it's like, well, would you wear it to campus? And it's like, no, I wouldn't actually. Shit. So it creates a problem with merch. Like, I've got a good 5-8 different designs made up. All of them, I was told, were awful by far, but she's an extremely harsh art critic. So,
well, she is our artist.
It sounds like Carmen Sandiego on a t-shirt. First of all, Carmen Sandiego never showed no thigh. And second of all, Carmen Sandiego never drew down on anybody. But she did look cool in a trench coat. I always imagined she was naked under that coat.
Carmen was hot as fuck. What are you talking about?
Well, yeah, she was hot as fuck, but that's mostly because in my young imagination, she was naked under the trench coat.
Not even so much about being naked. Like, when I was a kid, it was just like, damn, though. Like, she's mysterious. She's dark, mysterious. She's a little bit of a bad girl thing. I have a thing for the bad girl thing, and it kind of. What?
I gotta watch that series because y'all talk about it a lot, and I never actually
watch the original. The new one's okay, but it's not like watch the original, and you'll see the sexy Carmen Sandiego we're talking about.
Yeah.
See, Unholy Reaper gets it. She was a flasher. Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego flashing?
I have a trench coat.
I am envious. I'm envious of your boyfriend. That's all
high school football practices and flash the young men you are hoping are 18 years old. I get it.
Exactly.
Like I said, all I'll say is,
hey, quarterback, take a look at this. Yeah,
no, I have a trench coat for Detective Noir Jones.
Isn't that your dad's coat?
No. I bought my own because I was tired of using the oversized thing.
To the trench coat comment, Weebo, I'll just say your boyfriend's a very lucky man. So
I know.
I know. I know.
I have me after all.
Not a hint of arrogance there, kids.
Have you met me? I'm spectacular.
No, I haven't met you.
No. Well, in real life, I meant but this counts. This counts.
Not from lack of trying.
Fair, true.
At least, Weebo, at least you've actually tried to make arrangements to hang out with me in person. Polly never will. Like, he'll be like, hey, I've offered and tried to make arrangements for us to meet up sometime, and he's just like, no, can't do that. Can't do that.
It's hard enough.
You'll be disappointed when you see that I'm not actually an otter.
I think I'll be disappointed when I'm sitting across from the table from you talking and you're looking for squirrels around the room.
Kiss my ass, motherfucker.
Now, is this just like an actual thing that happened in Discord once about the squirrels, or is it just like one of those like, oh, I'm a dog, I saw a squirrel once or whatever? I don't know.
Yeah, it's a saying. It's
okay.
It's a saying.
Squirrel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so let's talk about the downfall of YouTube.
Again?
Again? Yeah, well,
how many times is it gonna downfall?
Well, how many times is it gonna die? Why won't you stay dead, old man?
Well, the downfall meaning like the steady decline, and we're gonna end up where we're at, right? So we had the purge last weekend. Some people did. There was an overall purge. I lost 70, 80 subs. I've almost got all of them back. Never showed any decline on Social Blade, but I don't even believe Social Blade anymore. Those numbers aren't true. I think they're just making them up. And I think they're random guesses.
Yeah.
Because I think that all of the social media people, especially YouTube, but Twitter and Twitch and so on. Like if you look at those numbers, they're off. It's like, wait a minute, I got 7 subs that day, or I got 20 subs that day, or I lost X amount, and it's not reflecting that. They average them out plus minus whatever. I think that they can be considered accurate, like plus or minus like 20%, which is a wild number. And then you see weird things going on, like Philly D losing 1.8 billion views in a single day.
That's probably because he took stuff down, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, but that's what you have to do is guess. It all becomes entirely guesswork. Like, what the hell happened there? I'm back up to just under 1,500 now, which is where I was at before the purge began.
Huh.
I'm gonna do a celebration stream when I finally hit 1,500.
Aw.
Yeah, that'll be fun. The last time I did a celebration stream was a subscriber special. Was when I hit 300. So it's been a minute.
So you didn't do anything for 1,000? Wow, Polly, way to appreciate your fans.
No, I sent out a special tweet. Excuse me. It was a picture of a surprised otter looking shocked, and 1,000 floats over the screen, and big orchestral music plays, and it's like dun dun dun. See, so I did do something special. Thank you to all the fans.
I'll see. I think the reason why you think Social Blade is guessing is because they are guessing to some degree, because they used to just rely on what the reported number was, like hardcore for a person, but now YouTube has reduced it to just like not specific numbers, but like 9.87K or whatever for a person. That's my specific numbers, but you can actually see the very specific numbers if you look at them. I couldn't tell you exactly what Polly's numbers are. I don't think.
Yeah, it still says 1.49. It's never changed from there because I was in 1,490 something, just under 1,500. And it's like I got purged all the way down to 1,300 something, and it never reflected that. Now I'm back up to 14.9.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
So what's the short version of all this? Sub to my channel.
Do it. Do it.
You want to? You know you do.
Do.
So the Race makes an interesting point. He says all these people are talking about YouTube in decline, but they still keep using it. Well, you know what? You're not wrong. And that's one of the tragic things about it, because it's just it's not, YouTube isn't like coming to an end. It's just becoming curtailed in the ease of use for the individual creator, as opposed to being a music channel that's in. Really, if you're a music channel, I mean, Weebo is what I'm thinking of. A music corporation that represents 20 different artists in their portfolio that they're putting up. Like, that's when I say music channel like that they actually own the rights to the music to put them up there, and they're taking 20% of the uploads for the streams. It's Spotify, but on YouTube, that kind of thing. And then your legacy media, okay, that 50% remaining for views that YouTube is allowing for individual content creators is getting smaller. And what I mean by that is that the algorithm is only promoting the large creators that have hundreds of thousands, if not millions of subs, and only very particular ones that are, quote, advertiser friendly. You hear all the super large channels complaining about that. Why am I not getting the CPMs, the dollars per 1,000 views that I was before? And it's like, because those are reserved for extremely ad friendly, milquetoast, old school network legacy media TV content.
Yeah.
That it's the, and then the fucking Paul brothers, because they're, I don't know, they made a deal with some sort of infernal demon.
That's the only explanation. Honestly,
that's a rude thing to refer to Susan Wojcicki as.
Wow.
Thank you to Lenny Stanfield for the donation over on the Super
Stop
Chat.
my channel.
And company, stay cool. Yeah, company, stay cool. And then thank you to Alpha and Omega for the donation over on the Streamlabs. Hashtag Weebo's trench coat. The trench coat's going to make a comeback. It's just in storage right now because I'm taking forever to move out of the house.
See, I'm the kind of guy that if a woman were sitting there on a live stream in a trench coat as opposed to showing titties, it'd be more titillating. Yeah, because like I'd be imagining she's completely naked as opposed to just wearing some kind of like low slung shirt. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's because I got an exceptionally filthy imagination and it makes up for the what's visually not available.
Ah, you also did not mature past middle school, did you, Polly?
I'll be right back.
Okay. So Race asks, where I'm moving to? Well, out of the house, preferably, but it's taking a little bit of time because the location hasn't opened up quite yet. It's within the same state that I live in currently, but just out of the house. I don't want to get too specific.
I'm not on camera on Holy Reaper. My hands can be wherever they want to be. But I'll tell you something, because it's like people keep using YouTube because it's still the most viable platform in terms of getting stuff out there. And people say, well, that's where the audience is. Mm-hmm. Other platforms have an okay audience. And if you're not relying on AdSense, you're doing Patreon and Streamlabs and stuff like that, you got a chance on other platforms. I just started uploading content, back content over to BitChute. It hasn't gone well. Not that my experience is indicative of what other people might be experiencing, but yeah, it's like I've gotten 2 comments. One from a longtime subscriber said, "Wow, Paul's got more than 2 videos up here now," because I was able to upload 2 videos to BitChute like a year ago, and then wasn't able to do it again. I started cycling through the multiple browsers I have installed and found one that would actually allow the upload to not get broken at 99%. It uploaded to 99% and then say upload failed. And I tried it again and again and again and eventually gave up.
So which one works now?
I am using Brave to upload.
Okay. Good.
You've changed.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's totally not wearing a trench coat. What am I wearing with a trench coat, Paul?
Nothing. Anyway.
I'm really hoping BitChute starts its streaming service. Wouldn't that be sweet? If there was an alternative, I know people have talked about this before, but like there was a viable alternative. You know what I want to hear? A bunch of longtime bit shooters going, I liked it when it was a smaller platform, and because all of these YouTube people start migrating over, that'd be great.
That would be really nice if we could just kind of like tilt the axis of power on the internet in a direction that wasn't in YouTube, but unfortunately,
careful with the phrasing "axis and power."
Why?
Powers.
Axis powers, axis of evil.
Yes, I'm saying Google are Nazis. Okay.
No, I was just can't say if we could tilt the axis of power, and I'm like, phrasing. No. I'm just gonna shut up now. I'm just gonna.
I'm 100% sure what's wrong.
I'm just gonna stop because I'm not making sense. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be here all evening.
Now I feel dumb.
I'm the one who's dumb.
Oh.
Don't worry about it.
Okay. So anyway, yes, Weebo is the innocent child apparently. Give GPS coordinates. Weebo will, says Lion Patriot. No, I don't wanna. You can't have my exact longitude and latitudinal coordinates. There we go. I want to keep those private.
Damn.
I'm having trouble with my English, if you can't tell. It's been a very long weekend, all right? And I think I killed off half of my brain cells with just the amount of Bloody Marys I was chugging.
Wait, you had brain cells left?
Ha! Funny.
Uh-huh.
There he is.
Cute, too.
I went there. I didn't mean it, though.
It reminds me of that line from Never Say Never Again. Excuse me. James Bond walks up to the bar at the casino, and Kim Basinger, she's the Bond girl of that film. Her name is Domino Patacci.
Oh, is it now?
Yeah, yes, it was, which is a lot better than Christmas Jones, you got to admit. Anyway, he walks up and he says, "Can I buy you a drink?" And she says, "Sure." And he looks at her and he kind of gives her like the one eyebrow, and he says, "Hard or soft?" And she goes, "Soft. Bartender, I'll have a double Bloody Mary, plenty of Worcestershire sauce." And he goes, "Wow, I hate to think what you mean by hard." Okay, it made me laugh. A double Bloody Mary with plenty of Worcestershire sauce. Yeah, that doesn't strike me as soft. Like a soft drink is like, bartender will have a Diet Coke,
I wouldn't even consider like hard or soft to be within the vernacular of bartending because no one's ever brought it up to me, and I've been doing this for a couple weeks now.
Like if you think about like hard cider,
Yeah.
ERAU Snow just tapped an issue that I have. How dare you quote a non-canon Bond film? I don't remember that scene. It's so obviously a canon film. People bring this up again and again. How much more canon could it get? Now, listen, I'm not trying to target you directly, man. It's fine. You know, I realize that I am in the minority on this opinion. I get that. But I can make a really strong argument why that's a full-on canon film. I mean, first of all, Sean Connery's playing Bond. Okay, so the first Bond, no one's going to say that Sean Connery playing Bond isn't like pretty goddamn canon, right? It's a remake of Thunderball, for God's sake. That's the fuck. How could it get more Bond? It's based on an original Ian Fleming novel and a remake of an already extant Bond film. But right? It's got all of the trappings of a Bond film. It's got a Bond girl. It's got a supervillain after whom I named myself, Maximilian Largo. I mean, doesn't that sound like a Bond villain? It's got all that now, but it doesn't have one thing. It's not made by Eon Productions. The Broccoli family didn't have something to do with it. They didn't give it their okay. They didn't have the legal ownership of the film production rights of that story alone. I don't care if Barbara Broccoli's getting her fucking 15% for sitting around because her father managed to come up with something useful.
It's kind of like how I feel about canon Star Wars franchise.
Bullshit. Bullshit. It's warmed over Thunderball. Fight me on this, Otter. Snow will fight you too.
I'm just saying. And it's got something that Thunderball didn't have. It's directed by the director of Empire Strikes Back. Come on. That's a stamp and seal of quality. You can tell by that video game scene. It's just like, wow, this was directed by a guy who does sci-fi.
I haven't seen that Bond movie, I don't think.
So which one is this?
Never Say Never Again.
Never Say Never Again.
It's got a really catchy theme song. Like in the sense that it's just like repetitive nonsense. Never say never again. Never say never. That's the whole song.
So, I have a question. Okay, so if it's not owned by the company that did all the other James Bond films, then how did this company get the rights to produce a Bond film? Wouldn't that company have gobbled
complicated
up
lawyer fights is the answer.
Well, there's that, but it's also could be a person who owns the rights to the Bond films could have gone. Well, the studio's busy over here. We're gonna hand it to this studio to make another movie because we just want another movie right now. I've seen that happen a lot in video games. Which game was it? Devil May Cry, very good example. Devil May Cry was such a smash hit when Capcom released it, and they wanted a sequel. And the studio that had made the first one was like, well, we're kind of neck deep in another project right now. Could we delay it? And they're like, no, we need this sequel now. So they handed it over to another studio. As a result, Devil May Cry 2 is not officially acknowledged by the community because it was that terrible.
Oof.
The studio who did it had no idea what they were doing. They completely fucked up the lore. They fucked up. The gameplay was mediocre at best. I mean, no one really liked that game. So it was a situation of DMC2 is best game. Go sit in the corner, Deco. Go sit in the corner. You're wrong. But it's one of those things of, that certain people will have the rights and it'll just go, I don't feel like waiting. Here, somebody else do this for me.
Well, in that case, it's like, no, it really is Aeon Productions because of the Broccoli family. So you got the Ian Fleming novels originally, and the rights to produce them, and then it expanded from that notion, the rights to the character, the name, all of the people associated with it, and MI6 and everything. The Broccoli family argues that, well, we own everything. We own everything. And it's been like that for so long, and stuff has been produced from, Pinewood Studios in the UK for so long, that they just kind of assert we have rights to all of this stuff. And when it comes to that particular thing, no, that was not the book, but the film production options had never really been under the Broccoli's control. And it's like, shouldn't it really be the Fleming family that's deciding all this? Where do these fucking vegetable people come into it? Well,
Yeah, I have a question about the broccoli after you're done.
Go ahead. That's
Who are these broccoli people?
Who are the broccoli people?
Well, yeah. They got involved and like, oh well, we're gonna buy these rights from Fleming, who produced it originally. It's not like they have some kind of Albert Broccoli, that's the original guy, wrote the story with Fleming or helped him develop it or whatever. No, not at all. Fleming writes the novels and then kind of like sold off the production rights. And it's like, so now it's owned by this guy, the Albert Broccoli. And then his daughter, Barbara Broccoli, starts thinking of herself as the first lady of Bond. And you read the trashiest fucking stories like, what's his name? Daniel Craig would have never gotten the role if it weren't for Barbara Broccoli's approval. Yes, she really kind of thinks of herself as some kind of like noble woman or something. Like when you hear her talk, she's like, here's the direction I'd like to see Bond. Who cares about you, lady? Your father managed to hornswoggle a fucking IP away from the original author. And here you are, not working a day in your life, pretending like you're doing something useful for the world. And she's the one why can't we have a black Bond? Oh, shut up. Are you afraid someone's going to call you racist? Because Bond's a Scotsman. That's why. Laid out on purpose. Like deliberately by the author. It's not this kind of like, oh, well, Bond's the everyman. And then they reinterpret it that James Bond 007 is the cover, that the person's name can be like Wakiki Johnson. And it's like, well, now when he comes 007, he goes under the code name of James Bond. And it's like, oh, nice retcon, morons.
That's not how that works. That's not how any of this works. He's not the Doctor.
He is not the Doctor.
He's not. Like that's something that would be acceptable with Doctor Who. It would not be acceptable with James Bond because that's just not the way that it's set up, right?
Yeah. I was happy to see that. Who was it? Was it Lion Patriot, or was it? Just trying to scroll back to see. Someone said, "Yeah, Lion Patriot. Roger Moore is best Bond." Agreed.
I like Pierce Bronson.
Thank you.
I have a thing for the tall, dark, handsome types. You know.
I mean, not even like an attraction in my case. It's just that's the Bond I grew up with was Pierce Bronson. So.
Yeah.
Pierce Bronston.
Yeah.
Bronson.
The one with the weird name.
Brosnan.
Brosnan.
That's what I said.
You got it. Brosnan.
See, this is the thing. I don't even want to get into the debates of like, I mean, that's my favorite Bond. The idea of best Bond. I enjoy the hell out of some Sean Connery Bonds. I think Timothy Dalton is badly underrated as Bond. There's things that I like about the Daniel Craig films. George Lazenby was a nice one-off. I don't really see what all the complaining is about where people get into like death battles over there's only one James Bond in my mind and it's this actor. And it's like, I don't know. I think that they generally brought something different to the role in each way. And nobody even remembers Timothy Dalton exists. It's weird.
So with all the rest of the Bonds that I've seen in other movies, like Pierce and Sean, right? They work outside of other movies. But with Daniel Craig, if I see him like, so he's in the James Bond movie, but if I see him in any other movie, it's automatically just like whiplash for me or something. Like I can't fathom it. And I've watched him in 2 other movies at this point. One was Knives Out, and the other was this like heist race car movie that I can't remember the name of. What?
Did you like Knives Out? Because I've heard good things.
I did like Knives Out. I especially liked the twist that wasn't really a twist, but was totally a twist.
Okay, say no more. I want to hear. I want to see it myself now.
Oh, it's so good. But him in any other movie is just very jarring for me to witness because I didn't know him until he was James Bond. Not that that was unique to him, but in all of his movies, he's very stoic, unemotive.
Who are we talking about again? I lost the plot.
Daniel Craig.
Daniel Craig. Okay.
His James Bond is like kind of robotic to me. But then I see him in literally any other character, or as literally any other character, and it is a complete 180 from what it is that I witnessed in all of his James Bond movies. And it's very jarring for me. And I don't know if I'm the only one that has that kind of experience, but yeah.
You know a movie I liked him in?
Huh.
Aliens and Cowboys. Cowboys and Aliens.
That was actually not a bad movie.
It wasn't. It wasn't a bad movie at all. And I can't believe they named it that. Like, good for you. It would be like, it would be like calling the movie Alien, like, killer insect in space. Like, just being so flat about what the hell the movie's about,
I do remember. Yes, I remember this movie right now. I got a thing for cowboys. I know that. Yep. I think it's the hat.
You there, Weebs?
It's definitely that. I'm there. I'm here. Hi.
And then what's his name demonstrated that yet again that guy hasn't like actually acted in a movie since the early 80s. Deckard, Han Solo, Indiana Jones. What's his name?
Han Solo. No.
Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford in Cowboys and Aliens is just like phoning it in, man. He's barely conscious. And I think it's because he's just fried his brain with weed. And I'm not saying like anyone who smokes weed is automatically like a blown out pothead. I'm just saying, look at Harrison Ford. That guy's been, puffing the sticky icky buds for so long that he's just like, all right, here I am. I'm sitting on a horse. Where am I again?
Where am I?
He's been puffing the sticky icky buds.
I like that. I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna use it.
All right, this trench coat's getting tight.
Why are there two Harrison Fords on IMDb? There's a Harrison Ford I, and then there is a Harrison Ford double I. What happened there? I'm curious.
He doesn't even comb his hair anymore, Larry Stitch. You're not wrong. You're not fucking wrong. Watch him in interviews when he's on press junkets for films. He's sitting there with his earring in. He doesn't even bother to do like the pancake makeup so your skin doesn't shine from the super bright lights that they put on you. His hair's all mussy. It looks like he just rolled out of bed and said, "Interview me. I'm an actor." Yeah.
I can get behind that kind of an attitude. I don't know what you're talking about. This is great. This is brilliant.
Someone who rolled out of bed attitude.
Yeah. Yeah.
She says as she grabs her hair to groom it off to one side so it's hanging just so.
No. I do that so that it doesn't tickle my neck because believe it or not, long hair does that. Right, Eve? You know all about this.
Yeah. See? That's why Blair sits there and does this all the time when she's during her videos. And if you figure it out, if you have a bare chest and like your hair, it tickles. It just sits there. And so you pull it off your skin, because it's tickling.
If you had long hair, you would know this. But no, she's grooming herself.
I keep getting people DMing me one-liner jokes on Twitter.
Yeah.
What's sad about four people in a Mercedes driving off a cliff? They were my friends.
Oh, poor thing.
Now we know where to tickle Eve. Not particularly. It's just more one of those things of like, if you just like barely touch someone's skin, how it just kind of like, okay, that's slightly uncomfortable, a little ticklish.
Like if a bug is crawling on your skin.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, fuck, yeah.
Rick says, "Same with me and my beard." Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when somebody's beard like tickles you.
Mm-hmm.
It's not ticklish really so much as it is just like. Ugh.
What caused the little boy to drop his ice cream in the middle of the street?
He got hit by a bus.
Yeah. Well, no, a truck hit him.
I like that one.
Why do you like that one? You fucking psycho. You know what? I'm going back to my phone game.
I am.
You people are evil.
Well, okay, all right. What did you get the Sally one yet, Polly?
Sally? No.
Yeah.
I can ask about it.
Why did Sally
What's
fall off the swing?
Because she had no arms.
Yeah. Knock knock.
Who's
Who's
there?
there?
Not Sally.
That's terrible. I hate you. You're terrible, and I hate you.
What's worse than finding a worm in your apple?
Half a worm.
The Holocaust. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That's actually
Why?
one separate brand of jokes is Holocaust anti-humor.
Oh my god.
There's this girl on the internet told me, I really like your voice, and I think your sense of humor is pretty offbeat. Here's some jokes you might like. And it's like, okay.
Oh boy.
How do you make a plumber cry?
How?
Kill his family.
I don't like these jokes. See, that's funny, Lanny. Why don't midgets wear tampons? They keep stepping on the string. Is this a problem, Weebo, that you have?
Oh, no, it's not.
You sure?
It's not a problem. Not a midget.
That's true. Callie is way shorter than you.
How many babies does it take to paint a ceiling?
No.
I don't know. I got a sense for this. How many?
It depends how hard you throw them.
Daniel says, there goes Polly's political career. That ship has sailed long ago, honey.
Whoopsies.
I'm not writing these jokes. I'm just telling them, is a politician's career ruined because somebody told them? Yeah, it can be, actually.
Mm-hmm.
They told them a joke and then they didn't. And
Year.
that's right. You can't laugh at the dark humor of it. Don't call it black humor because that's racist. The dark humor of it. What you should do is go to Twitter and express your outrage. That's how you survive as a politician.
Yeah.
He's true, though.
You know what was one of my favorite, like, really bad pun jokes or twist of word jokes ever? I still think it's hilarious. Two guys walk into a bar. Why didn't the second guy see it?
Why?
I caught it.
Oh!
You are peaking real bad tonight, Weebs. I don't know what's going on.
Am I? Ooh.
Yeah.
I can fix it. I can fix it. Ah, yes. Assassins of the Grey. Humor of color.
I think your gain might be a little high or something.
Yeah, let me turn it down. Come here.
This is how women attempt to get into Pony's pants. I do enjoy a good haha. I don't know if this is exactly up my alley of humor, but
I know. I mean, I know how to get into Polly's pants. It's just, the effort of doing so.
You hear that,
I mean, there's
Polly?
a joke here about the Special Olympics that I won't be repeating. I have some taste.
Some, but not a lot.
Well, just saying.
Well. But Polly, did you catch that?
Catch who what?
Did you catch what he just said? You not worth the effort, apparently. Oof.
Yeah.
Not quite.
That's how my last relationship ended too.
Oh. But,
actually, it didn't end that way. You know the easiest way to end a relationship?
Stop talking to the other person.
Would just be at the airport. Okay, well, I'll see you later.
Be at the airport?
Yeah, with one person or the other leaving. Because like that kind of like brings a pretty cut and dry finish end to it, doesn't it? Doesn't it?
Kind of, but in order for that to work, someone has to be leaving anyway. So how do you orchestrate that?
You put the issue off.
Ah,
We'll talk about that later, sweetheart. Oh, we're going to talk about that later. But honey, it's a one-way ticket you have. Oh, I know. It's fine. We'll talk about it just later.
don't worry about it. It's a one-way ticket, and it's for just me. And I'm bringing all of my
Yikes.
stuff. Yes, half of it is on a UPS cart headed to Boston. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Okay, let me tell you something about YouTube.
Okay.
Because we were talking about it, right?
Briefly.
And then you start, and then you two started talking about, like, I don't know, lady things. I don't know.
You were here. You were part of that conversation. You started probably it.
She's not wrong. You probably did start it.
Yeah.
I like how Eve plays grammar corrector to Weebo's badly formed sentences. Okay. In any case,
My videos.
I didn't correct.
you could, in my opinion, read the direction. Let me tell you something, chat. Okay, you got the back end of, leave it alone, Eve. You've got the creator studio of YouTube, and it. I saw that jaw drop. Don't act like you don't make something out of things. But the stuff that it puts up in your face on the dashboard, it tells you a lot. The single biggest number is your sub count. Always be worried about your sub count. Is it high enough? Is it big enough? Or why aren't you doing more? Yeah.
Is it big enough?
Yeah. Mine says my sub count is girthy. Oh, we need to talk about Will Smith. We'll get back to that in a second.
Okay.
Okay.
Continue.
The thing, it's recent subscribers, right? And it lists your most recent subscribers for the last 90 days. Is it just the last person who subscribed to you that they list there? No. How do you think that they list them? They list them by who has the highest sub count that just subscribed to you.
No.
By default. There's no other order way to look at them. So my highest sub count is the recent subscribers is your boy Pat from his Your Boy Live channel. That was like, and it's like over the past 90 days. Yeah, that was like months ago that he subbed to me. But he has the highest sub count of anyone who subbed to me in the last 90 days. See the point of it? Like, and Tiberius Kirk is listed on there with 126 subs. Again, Tiberius Kirk is listed because the other people who subbed to me only have, like, they're not producing content or whatever. So they've only got like 10 subs, 15 subs or whatever because they don't produce content. People are just following them for comments that they make or whatever the hell.
Does that actually?
I think this reveals a lot. It tells you how they want you, as somebody who's putting up videos, to be thinking about stuff. Oh, well, I can't connect with the small people. I don't want. Oh, the only people that are important are people who have high sub counts. Fuck that.
I mean, I am a big deal, but.
Oh, you got a Cthulhu with a top hat.
My brother made this for me for my birthday.
That's kind of adorable.
He crocheted it. So, or was it Christmas? It was either belated Christmas.
Crocheted?
Yeah.
Oh, check the talent. Look at that.
Yeah, he did a really good job.
Have you shown that to Far? You should. She'd get a kick out of that. She's
He's got
not a
little
crocheter,
and
but
everything. Because my brother said he was making it, and he was like, he needs something else. What is he? He just needs something, and so he put the little top hat on him as well.
That's pretty
I
cool.
thought it was a nice touch. But yeah. No, Daniel was commenting on it, and that's why I picked it up and held it up to the camera.
Aww.
So
He's so cute.
And Daniel Fullman says Brie Larson will swallow all of your channels. Okay, Brie Larson coming. You're not wrong. Okay, and Brie Larson coming on to YouTube and the way that she did and how it happened, et cetera, et cetera. That tells you everything you need to know about YouTube and the direction that Susan Wojcicki wants things to go.
won't last.
And not just her, the entire executive committee. I mean,
it won't last because she won't get views, and then they'll go, eh.
Well, but the way that they think about it, like maybe she will because of the kind of promotion. It's like, I'm here to promote my inclusive channel, and actually says that. It's like, honey, you're a privileged white girl, blonde hair, blue-eyed white girl raised in Southern California in an upper middle class family where you were put into acting and modeling school, et cetera, and you're talking about your diverse, inclusive channel. Shut up, you virtue signaling moron. your convictions, as the saying goes, are as thin as the gold on a Las Vegas wedding ring. You're transparent and obvious. Anyway, so what are her first videos? Being welcomed to YouTube by all the other creators. Was it random people who just decided to welcome Brie Larson? No. There were people that were set up and choreographed and scheduled by YouTube. They're advertiser-friendly people that no one's ever heard of, that are only watched by a bunch of 12 and 13-year-olds because they got flashy content with bright colors and we're unpacking toys and look at all this stuff and yay, YouTube. And they show up and they're like, welcome to the channel, Brie. And she's like, oh my God, I'm so happy you're here. And it's all put together as this supercut thing. All of it's as fake as Brie Larson's ass. Like, it just, yeah, she got a butt double for Captain Marvel.
She did get a butt double. We established that.
I know, but it's just...
That's the direction that YouTube is going. And it's like people, I mean, I think it was Ray said way earlier on, it's like, yeah, but you guys still stay here. I hear you. I mean, that's a valid criticism. If the platform is so bad, why are you still here? Because it's still viable and there's no alternative. My complaint is not YouTube is going to die tomorrow. It's just you see the direction of what they're pushing, the content that they're funding, and the shrinking pool from which to operate as an independent creator. Be you Weebo or Philly D. Those they're all in the same category generally, and it's shrinking. And people like Philly D will be favored, and the Paul fucking clones, etc. The ninjas and the PewDiePies will be favored, and everyone else will just be shrunk out of existence slowly over time.
Why you gotta be so mean like that? Why you gotta hurt me so bad?
What do you mean?
I'm gonna not have the, the marketability of the Philly D's and whatnot, and then eventually I'm gonna get phased out by YouTube. I know. I'm gonna fail.
You know what I think it comes down to? At this point, the impetus becomes upon you to promote yourself, and it becomes a question of figuring out how to do that. Cross-platform promotion through Twitter and Instagram, and do the things. And there's a flood coming, y'all. I just want to say this so I can be the person to say that I predicted this. Remember when Vine died and all of a sudden all these Vine stars showed up on YouTube and YouTubers were complaining that these talentless hacks who were only used to doing 9-second videos are suddenly flooding our precious platform out of nowhere and taking up all the oxygen in the room? Okay, what do you think is going to happen if TikTok gets prohibited in America, gets blocked? Oh my God, there will be a flood of TikTokers running over to YouTube or Instagram. It'll be like all these no talent hacks are, and it's like, well, yeah, of course they're no talent hacks. They're doing fucking, 8-second. Oh my God, here I am on TikTok repeating the lyrics to a song that I've never heard before. Look, tits.
Thing is that on TikTok they have, they get supplied those clips and stuff. They supplied that to them. So unless they can add their own stuff, they can add their own music, their own lyrics, or whatever for them to lip sync to, but they end up getting that from TikTok. So probably 50% of them are going to look at it and go, oh, well, YouTube doesn't do this for me. Instagram doesn't do this for me. I don't care. It's not worth the effort.
Yeah.
And then the other half are going to come over to YouTube and go, oh, well, I'm just going to take this little thing from the song and lip sync to it and put it on YouTube. Isn't that so great? Copyright claim. What?
You got a good point. That is
it's not going to be as easy as I think it is. At least Vines could be somewhat original. They were like sketches and skits and things like that were real short.
Okay.
This
Boomer.
is
okay. Boomer. Fuck off.
Look, Senzawa is an angel until she decided to slum it with Belle Delphine, in which case I lost respect for her. So
I was watching AP's Blunt stream a couple days ago, and he showed this clip that I got to go hunt down, man. It was unintentional comedy at its best. There's these two guys, this happened on TikTok, and they're like, We're here in Texas, and we're going to go ask people, confront them as to whether or not they support Trump. And if they do, we're going to call them out big time.
Oh boy, why? This can't go wrong.
You's going to call them out, huh? Like by doing what? Calling them a whole bunch of names? Yes, that's exactly what they meant. It cuts hard, and the next shot is them walking up to looked like a park or something like that, and there were 3 girls that were, I don't know, somewhere between like 16 and 20 if I had to guess. They never really kind of zoomed in on them, so like younger girls, and they walk up to them. They're sitting at a picnic table, and they say, "Hi guys, we're political TikTokers." Ugh. You're what? What did you just that alone caused me to choke up a little bit in anger. I was like, but anyway, they walk up and say, "We're political TikTokers, and we're here to ask you, do you support Donald Trump?" And the 3 girls just kind of like look at each other, and they kind of look back, and they're like, "Yeah." Like, do you realize that means you support racism and bigotry? And they just kind of looked at each other and went, "Okay." Says, no. That makes you a bigot. I don't know. Yeah. The silence, the crickets, it was deafening. It was gorgeous. Oh, the ambivalence to being called a bigot by some morons with a fucking phone thinking that it's some kind of assault weapon. It's like, I'm going to hold you personally responsible. I'm going to put your face all over Facebook and TikTok. If you don't agree with me, you better say you hate Trump. Yeah, we're going to call you out big time. Girls couldn't give a fuck. And it rendered their weaponry ineffective and useless because they didn't care. It's like, a couple of morons with a smartphone hooked up to the fucking TikTok app just called me a bigot. They're like, yeah, who gives a fuck?
But there's 2 things that says to me is that, one, that says right there is why I think Trump is going to win again, because that's the attitude that the left has taken with it. Still, it worked so well with Hillary to just sit there and call everyone racist, sexist, homophobic, and you're all just bigots if you don't vote for the woman. What's wrong with you? But so apparently that worked so well last time that they're going to try it again this time, and it's still not working. It's still not working, and that's why I think Trump is going to win again. But that also harkens back to what I was saying earlier about the guilt trip. You know, the idea that we need to be made to feel guilty, because after a certain point, people look at it and they just go, you know what? I don't care what you called me anymore. It's not going to work. You can sit there and try to tell me I'm a terrible, horrible human being for supporting this and just straw man the shit out of me. And I'll just look at you and go, okay, so what? And they realize that they have nothing to fire back at you with, because you just like took what they said and went, okay. And
it absolutely renders them powerless. The power for the longest time was, you're a racist. And most people out there are generally good people and don't want to be thought of as racists, and they don't like racism, most people. So they're like, no, I'm not a racist. Well, then you better say what I want you to say. Say the thing, or I'm going to destroy your life. And when it gets used to the point of it being diluted to meaningless, and especially 3 girls sitting around, I could see some guys with their testosterone being like, fuck, get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? But just 3 girls with just the ambivalence. It was so good to see. It was like, I don't care. Go away, losers.
So, in the vein of resisting when it is that people come up to you and put a camera in your face and, demand that you answer to them about a thing or whatnot, I see where going, fuck you, get out of my face works, but at the same time, right, they have a camera in your face and they are approaching you and they are putting you on the spot. And if you say even the slightest wrong thing, that's going to get uploaded to the World Wide Web and people are going to find you and dox you. And like, I've seen a video of a woman who was approached on the street by someone who worked for Black Lives Matter or whatever. That's what they claimed. They're like, I need you to kneel in front of me and apologize for your whiteness or whatever. And she did that, without question, just on instinct or whatever, just because maybe she, sympathized, or maybe she felt like genuinely like, if I don't do this, someone's going to hold my feet to the fire. My life's going to be ruined.
Maybe I want to keep my job, sort of thing.
I'd like to keep my job. I'd like to not be, harassed at my own home, because these people don't have any problem showing up to a person's house, putting a camera in their face, taking a picture of their license plate, putting them on blast for marginal offenses, if that. And that kind of freaks me out a little bit, not gonna lie, because I do have something to lose if I'm put on blast, right? Because I have my YouTube channel, and I've not been a good Weebo for all of it, which is fine. You know, I'm not going to apologize for that because most of what I've done is in jest, except for the wrong opinions that I hold about certain things that are just completely middle of the field, mundane perspectives, but they're still wrong perspectives, or at least centrist, and therefore I am part of the enemy. If I'm not with them, I'm against them. And so someone coming up to me and being like, putting me on blast, and I'd be like, can you not do that? 1, I have creepy stalkers out there. 2, get out of my face, please. 3, what the fuck do you think you're doing? Doing that to somebody.
You ever have some stalkers? Like, damn.
No, I have yet to come across anybody in real life that knows about my online persona who I didn't already know. Knock on wood, exactly. Yeah, hopefully that never happens. But like, I dread the day that happens, and it's not someone that's a fan, and it's someone that I've pissed off, perhaps, because I don't want to be put in that position of being put on the spot. Because I'd like to just live my life and then come on here and, you know, do my shit and then get offline, because IRL and URL are completely separate for me, and I'd like to keep it that way, preferably.
Oh, I see how it is.
Well, not in that respect. You know what I mean.
I'm teasing, I know.
Please don't stalk me, people. No, but even if it were someone random, someone that wasn't a fan online but didn't hate me either, that just came up to me at random and put me on blast, it'd be very easy to figure out who I was, because someone somewhere might be able to identify me for whatever reason. My face is out there. You could do cross-reference. It's not that hard, but I don't want that to happen. I don't want to be approached in public, asked to kneel and apologize for the white crimes of my ancestors. I'm not going to do it, but I also don't want to be put in that position to have to deny that person the satisfaction of having me do the thing.
I just turn around and stand next to him and be like, what are you doing? I'm waiting for the next white person to walk by so that I can ask him for the same thing, because my fucking ancestors were out there picking cotton next to yours, dumbass. So...
Can we talk about rice?
Rice, as in the most succulent of resources. Rice.
I wondering where you're going.
I do like rice. Succulent.
Maybe not that much.
Succulent.
It's so good.
I don't even know where are you going with this, Polly?
You mentioned picking cotton. Now everybody knows Eli Whitney, the cotton gin, blah blah, manual labor, slave labor. Rice was the most commonly planted cash crop in the Americas.
Was it really?
Nobody ever mentions that. You don't think of America full of rice paddies.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Huh. I truly did not know that.
Everybody, I think everyone is becoming more and more aware of like hemp as a cash crop and for rope and stuff. But I don't think that gets talked about and people are aware of it because you got your Joe Rogan weed heads out there that are like, hemp's the miracle plant that'll save the planet. You know.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah.
Totally. That's what I've heard.
It would be easier, but I don't think it would be the miracle plant to save the planet. I mean, we're definitely things to do that.
I mean, admittedly, there's a hell of a lot of uses for it. Yeah, like it makes better rope than some things. It grows quite quickly. It requires less nutrients. The list goes on. And then you can get into all the CBD stuff, and we haven't even hit upon like, whoa.
All right.
So yeah, I'm all for it. But when it comes to Joe Rogan level ideas, like he almost gets positively Rastafarian with it being like a gift from God. It's a little weird. And Race is right. Hemp does not equal weed. No, it doesn't at all.
All right, I'm back. Hi, everybody. My
Mhm.
video capture application just died, but it's
Bear to Bear says, cotton is soft and nice. It's comfortable to pick. Oh, no. Oh, no.
okay. You want to hear a funny story?
I hope it's not even close to being on this subject. What's up?
It's
You're the one who brought it up.
it's close enough. It's a funny story, but like, okay, it's reminiscent of a mentality that I'm seeing that not a lot of people think is a legit occurrence. And you'll get what I'm getting at when I tell you the story. So in high school, we had this assignment for, I think it was world history or whatever, where we had to delve into capitalism and start our own business or whatever. My team, we did a bakery, but there was another team that had a fruit market that they wanted to initiate, and they named their company Fruit Pickers. And apparently that's not something that you're supposed to do because that's supposedly very racist. Apparently that was what they called slaves somewhere. I can't remember where exactly it was that my professor said it was a thing. But he's like, oh, that's racist and that's got historical racism attached to it or whatever. And they didn't know that. And we didn't know that. And we hadn't learned about that yet. But it was something offensive that us as students hadn't actually picked up on yet in our academics and probably never would have had it not come up in the classroom as
By
that.
some moralizing scumbag trying to make a big deal out of nothing that probably wasn't even true anyway?
Yeah.
Okay, go on.
So that story sticks with me, like vaguely, of course, because I don't remember all the details, but it sticks with me as like one of those keystone experiences that helps frame my perspective when it comes to kids and doing offensive things at a young age, or just anyone doing anything offensive at a young age that's marginally attached to racial prejudice, history of segregation or whatever, because you're not always going to get the education that encompasses every single little racist dog whistle that ever was, or every single Nazi symbolism that ever was. There are a lot of things that people signal as like, oh, this is something that the Nazis toted. This is something that was a thing back in ye old segregationist days in the 60s. But there were a lot of them, obviously. And not everyone is going to know every single one of them from their education, no matter how old they are necessarily, unless they lived through it or they're a scholar of those times and had an emphasis on the racial aspects of that. So I can totally see how people would be ignorant of something being racially insensitive and using it and then getting like canceled to all hell for using said thing and being like, well, I didn't know. And then everyone goes, well, you should have. You would have learned it in school because I learned it in school. Well, did you learn everything in school, sir? No, you didn't. But people neglect to put themselves in the shoes of the people that they're condemning. And that I find is really disheartening because unless we're doing that, you will see an enemy everywhere that you look, no matter what that person is guilty of, quote unquote. And that's my story.
No, I agree with you. One of the most obnoxious things that I hear people talk about when they bring up something like the 1619 Project or something, they'll say, oh, I never learned about these things in school. You never learned about slavery in school? No, well, I mean, like, oh, so what you didn't learn in school was America painted as a horrible oppressive system that was based in white supremacy, capitalism, and oppression of all dark-skinned peoples of the earth, because that's a fucking lie. That's unnuanced garbage history that literally is not worth the paper it's printed on, in my opinion. And that we didn't learn this stuff in school. I find that an extremely frustrating thing. Like, there's first of all, history's too big to learn all of it, and it does have to be picked and chosen between. Did you learn about the 1,300 years of African slave trade in the Islamic world? Did you learn that Saudi Arabia only outlawed slavery in 1968? Did you learn about the horrible actual patriarchal system that exists throughout the modern Islamic world? Did you learn about the some 8 million people in Qatar that are slaves in everything but name? You didn't learn that in school, did you? Well, that's all Islamophobic. I don't want to hear about. Fuck off. Like I said, I am more than willing to do history with all of its warts, but let's do all of the history. Let's talk about all of it. Let's talk about how the abolition movement, that slavery would have never ended if it weren't for white people fighting for it.
I retweeted something that Blair put out on her Blair White put out on her Twitter earlier.
Well, I can't see it because she blocked me.
Yeah, I keep meaning to talk to her about that.
Blair blocked you?
Yeah, she blocked
What
me.
did you do, Weebo?
I have
This is a while ago.
Video about this.
She did. She made a whole video about it.
Yeah, it was a whole ass video.
I'm gonna state right real quick. I'm not. Blair can be a fucking drama queen sometimes. She can be. What's the word I'm looking for? She can be catty, and in this case, she was definitely being catty.
Yeah. And now, for whatever reason, I can't find that video.
But to Polly's point, she said, normalize changing your opinion upon receiving new information. It won't kill you, I promise. And that just goes right to Polly's point. You know, people are so reticent to receive new information and take a situation and go, well, yes, this is what I knew at first, but since you're presenting me with new information that I didn't have before, you know, I'm not. Rather than saying, that's interesting, I didn't know that, let me go and look more up about it, you know, or they're so stuck on whether or not they're going to lose the argument that they can't just admit that they didn't know something, you know? Mm-hmm. And it's a terrible, terrible habit to have.
Yeah, so you want to know why Blair blocked me?
Yes.
Okay, so she came out with here. I just posted the video in chat.
I remember this now.
She came out with a tweet, and here I'll just screen share the portions of the video that are relevant to the conversation we had. She tweeted this out in 2018. The man who raped me when I was 18 popped up on my Facebook. Maybe my next video should be confronting him after all these years. And then I replied with, where was it? There we go. I said, confront him with the law, not the court of public opinion. You know, that seems reasonable. And then she blocked me for it.
I will say that in her defense, you were one of probably about thousands of people who were saying something, and she probably just blocked everyone who had any remotely negative comment about it. Like, I'm not saying what she did was right, but it may not have been a personal thing. She probably doesn't even remember why she blocked you. She just
probably not. I'm not that special.
Yours was probably the tamest response, but she had people who were a lot more hostile with it. Also, I love your name there.
Yeah,
Top tier breeder.
I was just gonna point that out. Probably my name didn't help with that. You got to remember, this was also around the time that I was getting a lot of comments about how I was the peak white female breeder type or whatever. Race realism. Wasn't that just a lovely time? Yeah, that happened. That's actually one of my more popular videos. And one of my more disliked videos, too. Because Blair's fans were a little bit vicious about that.
Yeah, and she's got some pretty
I will
rabid fans.
bat them motherfuckers away.
What'd you just
Look,
say?
Blair remembers me. Blair knows who I am. Blair remembers me. Every time. No, I seriously. I could go over to one of her streams. I could go over to one of her streams right now. Next time she has a live stream, and just send it a little just enough to get her attention, a little $2 super chat, or just enough to send a little message. Well, maybe not $2. I have to be $5 to stay up there long enough for her to read it, but just enough to get her attention and let her see my name, and she'd be like, "Oh, I remember you," because we met at MythCon a couple years ago. So
yeah.
But she remembers me because I was exceedingly tall. So.
But like, okay,
her because she's such a little munchkin.
Oh my God, she's tossed over your shoulder and cart her off somewhere. I could literally pick her up and put her in my pocket if I had pockets on my shirt. That's the reason I don't have my own personal Blair White, guys, is because I didn't have any pockets on my dress. Sorry.
Like, some of the comments that I got on that video from Blair were like, oh, she was obviously joking. And I go, all right, well, if she was joking and I made that comment, it shouldn't have really offended her, right?
She was not joking. That was completely serious. That was a comment that she not only had made on a live stream. I watched one of her live streams prior to that, and she was talking about it and how it made her feel and how that was something that she wanted to do. She mentioned it again in a video around that time. And then she puts it on Twitter, which tells me that she did it 3 times. She was seriously going to go through with it. She needed to be told that that was a bad idea and that was only going to end badly and was only stirring up the drama that she claims to not want to stir up.
Exactly. It would have been a very bad way for her to go about doing things. And I think I put that in my video as good advice, as to like, this is why you shouldn't do that at all, please. Because I at the time, I was a big fan of Blair's. So, and I still am a fan, just not as big of a fan, because that was kind of my red pilling moment. But no, I don't think she ever confronted the person in question, Dana Coleman.
So not that I know of. I don't think I ever saw anything about it. I've not followed her as closely as I like, because most of the time when I watch Blair's videos, I have the, for some strange reason, and Polly can attest to this, I just get the strangest urge to like go to Pornhub and finish what Blair started. Like, okay, come on, Polly.
This is a Christian
Not
channel.
the last one, but the one before is like, what are her more recent videos a few weeks ago? The one where she just comes walking in and she's like, oh, hey guys, I'm up here in Big Bear. And she's just like wearing the white bikini and it's just like, fuck you.
Yeah, she knows what she's doing.
Just totally like, oh, I'm just happy to go chill in the hot tub. And she did the video from the motherfucking hot tub. And I'm like,
I still say the most questioning video that she ever did was that where she was packing to go to Virginia, I think, for Christmas. And she's sitting in front of her closet and she's got this shirt on where it's like the button that is like the bottom button that is buttoned is like holding on for dear life and about to explode. It's just
like, I don't have the titty that she has to be able to do that, but still, like my titties don't do that, but it's still, it's like that button was just like, if she'd have just stretched the wrong way, it would have been pop and we'd have seen nipple and everything.
Yeah. That
there was no
she had some like titanium thread holding that shit on, man. It was something else.
I love that the conversation is devolved into
Assassin says, Weebo, you need to do a video from a hot tub. I agree with this. I second this.
I don't have a hot tub readily available, unfortunately.
If Weebo did a video from a hot tub, you know what it would be. It would be her in the water, like up to right beneath her nose, just to be a smart ass. Here's the hot tub video, guys. Brrr, she's blowing bubbles. Like,
or she'd do it, but she'd be wearing like a bathrobe in the hot tub and just be like, so guys.
Yeah.
Or both. And she'd go, all right, it's time to get out of the hot tub, and then rises up out of the water and she's like just fully clothed.
I would totally
sweatpants.
Okay, there is a video of me in the shower, fully clothed as well, pretending to cry. I kid you not, it's on my channel. It's one of my earlier videos. It was back when I was young, innocent, naive, and was making just fun content and not strictly political commentary kind of content. Okay, I will say this one last thing about not strictly Blair, but like it's in the like same vein of stuff. So she blocked me, right? I never understood blocking, at least on Twitter, because one, that gives them the satisfaction, and then they know that they've been blocked. And I've had people harass me, at least on mines, by making completely new accounts and then, you know, consistently coming at me. At least it was one person, and I think the next 6 minutes remembers this person. But like in my youth as a creator, I had one specific asshole that I did block initially because he was threatening to dox me or whatever. And then he would just keep coming back with new accounts. And I think it got up to like 32 separate accounts. And at that point, I was just like, fuck Mines, I'm not going over there anymore. So that's why I don't really use my Mines account, even though I probably should. But on Twitter, there's the lovely mute feature, which you can use on either a person, a conversation, or just like a specific tweet that you've had so that you don't get notifications about it. You don't see anything about that. But no one knows that you've muted it. So it's not like you're alerting a
conversations all the time.
Yeah, it's not like you're alerting a person to the fact that you can no longer see anything that they're doing. And I think that's a lot better of a way to go about doing things than to just flat out block a person, personally. Because it allows you to ignore that person.
I like I said, I mute conversations all the time of people like mass tag me and things, and I'll just be like, the ones that still kill me. Why it is still a thing, I do not know, but I hate it with a fiery, burning passion. Is Follower Friday. Have you ever gotten tagged in a Follower Friday?
Yeah, I have.
They're just lists of people, just like several tweets full of just at this person, at this person, at this person. And you're supposed to follow all the people on that list. Like, I'm not following a bunch of random people that I don't know. If I'm going to follow you, if you have something interesting that I think I want to hear, but I'm not going to just follow you just because, I don't even follow back necessarily anymore unless I know who the person is, unless I can identify them. I don't even follow them back anymore.
Yeah.
Like, if somebody wants to follow me, sure, but I've gotten out of the habit of just automatically following somebody back unless I know who they are.
I stopped doing that when I started getting really weird shit in my DMs.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm worried about too.
Mm-hmm. So I got some interesting requests.
Yeah, I have. Thankfully, I haven't gotten any of those on there. I've gotten plenty of them on Discord, but I haven't gotten any of those on there. Mm-hmm. But I just.
Okay, so last night we did a noir bar and it was fun, but there was one story we didn't get a chance to.
That's nice.
Well, yes, what? I thought the subject was done.
Go ahead.
No. You just got.
This is not. Add metric tons of salt because you've promised me you were going to do an early noir bar to have me on because I can't be up at 3 or 4 in the morning.
Well, wait. Hold on now.
You've been promising me for
that's what this is now. Over because this would require you recalling a conversation that we had. Now I know it's asking a lot, but I said I'm going to be doing one on Sunday night, and that was last night, right? And I said, but we can plan one upcoming where we do it earlier, and you can be on. How's Tuesday looking for you? Remember this conversation? You were playing Labyrinth at the time,
actually,
so I mean,
I do actually remember the conversation now that you mention it. I was playing Labyrinth at the time. What the fuck is Labyrinth?
I don't know. That's what you said. You said Labyrinth. Were you in a labyrinth in a game, maybe? I don't know.
I don't remember what I was doing when we had that conversation. I remember talking to you.
It's safe to assume you were playing a video game.
I was playing a game. I'm pretty sure. I might have just finished playing a game. I don't know. I remember what I was doing.
So we did Noir Bar last night, and it was a lot of fun. But we didn't get a chance to cover talk about one guy. Here, look at this guy for a second, because I was just closing tabs that I had open last night. I'm like, oh my god, look at this guy. So Weebo would have to actually be part of the stream that she's hosting, and there we go.
Sorry, I was responding because someone picked up a package for me this weekend while I wasn't home, and I need to get it back from them. It's important.
See this charming man?
Yes.
Yeah, let's bring up a nice picture of him. Here he is. There he is.
He's very distinguishedly gray in the beard.
Yeah. Distinction, I guess, is one thing you could call him. This is Marcus. This is Marcus Wesson.
I like him. His face is a nice face.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
He's a convicted serial killer, convicted of 9 counts of first-degree murder and 14 sex crimes.
Nice.
Which which include the rape and molestation of his underage daughters.
Hey,
all of his victims were his own children that were fathered by incestuous relationships with his daughters and nieces.
Just a wholesome human being, isn't he? He's just a regular churchgoer, that guy, you know, pillar of the community.
So he met his future wife, quote unquote, when she was 8. Started a relationship with her when she was 11, like sexual, right? He married her when she was 15, went on to have give birth to his children 11 times. Okay. Now this is where the story gets wrong. I looked into this. Okay. They say that the 9 children that he killed were all fathered by him with his nieces and daughters incestuously. That's not true. It was only 7 of them he had fathered incestuously.
Oh boy.
But he did kill all 9. Now, he led a vampire cult.
This guy even more.
Why didn't you front with any of this? You just showed me a picture and I'm like, oh, he looks like he's got a nice face. He's a kind-hearted man, obviously. No, Weebo, no. Retract that.
Retract.
I just want to say this knife is very, very dull. So in order to make sure it goes all the way in, I'll probably have to stab someone with it multiple times.
Yeah, this is a hell of a guy. Like,
I think this guy's a perfect person to sharpen my knife on.
This guy's vampire cult, just like, I mean, all of his incestuous sexual relationships were all vampiric. He named his son Vasus, combination of vampire and Jesus, because he taught his children from the Bible, his own interpretation of the Bible, and Jesus, of course, is a vampire because, you know. Right. One of my favorite when you're reading about this guy, one of my favorite things you find out. So he's from Fresno, California.
Yeah, California.
One of my favorite little tidbits when you're reading through. The man never held a job. He lived off welfare his whole life doing this.
So, as a vampire myself, I would just like to be clear: we do not condone or support this man's behavior.
No.
As a community, we vehemently shun and deny this guy's fucked up, you know.
A little bit. Like, I mean, I was just so you might wonder how the hell I came across this guy, right? Looking goody.
They were sitting right here, and I'm like, oh, why not?
Because I was looking up. I was watching a video on UFO cults, and I'm like, you know, some of their stories are just so funny that, like, the galaxy is fully populated by all of these peaceful beings, and the only bad or evil or violence or oppression that ever happens is here on Earth. Out there in the galaxy, everything's peaceful. A lot of UFO cults go that way, and the aliens always contact one lunatic to tell him or her about the peaceful galaxy out there and spread the message of peace, love, and spiritual ascension to this one lunatic who just so happens to write a book and sell power crystals and the like. And that is the part that I find entertaining, is that the consistency of their stories is so remarkable. It's like, everywhere's peaceful, but here we're going to share the knowledge that you are not alone in the universe with this one lunatic who then turns into a UFO cult leader and sells everything. It sells all of this knowledge to people, as opposed to just letting everybody know or a group of people know or whatever. Just so happens it's the one nut bar. And in looking around about cults, in this way, I come across this one guy. He's like, oh, he ran a vampire cult. I'm like, oh yeah, like some wacky kids drawing blood to be edgy, and it's like, no, he murdered 9 of his incestuously born children. I'm like, wait, what? Hold on, what?
That's how you know he wasn't a real vampire. He produced children. I mean, that's, you know, he's a liar. He's posing as one of us. That's not okay. Don't do that.
A little bit of a sidetrack here, but Whiskey Theorizes says you need to remember to watch Luther.
That's right, I do. That's true, I do.
You do.
You do.
And
I
I
have no
also
idea
need
what
to
it was.
remind you to send me your Blu-ray copy of Blade Trinity.
Oh yeah, that's right. Speaking of vampires, and Rapier 83, the Raelians, like Real, um, this yeah, that's exactly his story. We had a bunch of stories of these wacky UFO cult people up for yesterday's Noir Bar, but we were only going to run 90 minutes. We ended up running like 2 hours, and we didn't get on to the sicko vampire cult guy. Realism was one of them. I'm really surprised how big that UFO cult is in Korea, of all places. And that's Real's the exact story that I just described, one amongst many. There's this entire galaxy out there of people called Elohim. Ignore the Old Testament reference there. It just it's a good thing that they told this one wacky Frenchman about it,
Yes.
who then went on
What's
to
a
use the Star of
real
David with a swastika in the center as his symbol.
Lion,
Okay.
Ika?
Lion says, I quote, I done seen this glowing light in the sky, and therefore I knowed it. Before I knowed it, I was talking to one of them short gray fellers.
Yeah, that sounds right.
It's honey. The green ones are the short ones. The grays are tall.
Oh,
So.
The
I've
grays
seen
are
both.
tall?
I've seen it both ways.
I thought the grays were like little half pint, 3-foot guys. No? Okay,
Google
guess
it.
not.
No,
Like-
the greens are the short ones. The little green men. You know, LGN's
That's
little green
racist.
men. The grays are like really tall though.
They can be. They're
Daniel
not
says, I
necessarily.
missed the Eve dress up game streams. I need to do one of those again, like one of my game streams. Put my fangs in.
So, should we do what,
These are-
like 10 minutes?
These are definitely coming out for Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines too. So
Because we're at 2 hours and 6 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
10 more minutes for like questions and whatnot.
Yes.
I mean, if you want to. It's your show.
Daniel
Call
Fulman
it at
asked a good
2:50.
question a long time ago, but I don't remember what it was. Fuck. There's so many interesting things
Well,
going
go
on
back
in
and look for
chat,
it.
and I'm trying to listen to you too, because that's an important thing to do when having a conversation.
Especially with women.
I
You have to
feel
listen.
like that was a jab.
No,
A little bit.
I meant it generally.
Oh, Pete says that they thought there were two types of grays, tall grays and little guys. I could be wrong. I may not be up in my alien lore. My lore knowledge is obviously, I tend towards more the supernatural than the sci-fi type of thing. So.
Speaking of alien visitors, you know what a stupid film is, in my opinion?
What?
Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Oh.
You ever seen that
Go
movie?
on.
What? I'm sorry. Have you seen? You guys have seen it? Haven't seen it?
I have
No.
not.
I thought it was so stupid. I mean, supposedly everything that Steven Spielberg does is magic. That film was dumb, in my opinion. I watched it, and they're communicating with aliens with musical keyboards with light setups after Dreyfus goes crazy and starts playing with his mashed potatoes. The film's stupid.
You want to know something funny about that movie? So Spielberg and Lucas were making. Spielberg was making that at the time that George Lucas was making the first Star Wars movie, and they both got like a percentage, like invested a percentage of each other's movies, and because George Lucas was so sure that Steven Spielberg's movie was going to do better than his. So to this day, Steven Spielberg hits a tiny little sliver of percentage of what, like it's like 2% of what LucasArts, made on the Star Wars movies and anything like that because he just made this deal with his buddy and was just like, yeah, sure, let's invest in each other's movies.
Nice.
And George Lucas was just so certain that it was gonna work out for him, but
Wow.
I mean, he still made lots of money off of his own movies, but he was so certain that Spielberg's movie was going to take off. But Close Encounters of the Third Kind was going to really outshine Star Wars.
Nope.
He had no idea what he was making.
I think the question is in the chat there, Polly, for you, from Daniel Pullman.
Oh yeah, that is it. Polly, did you ever have to put up with the professor's political views to get through a class? Yeah. I mean, I could divide it between undergrad, grad, or undergrad, masters, and doctoral about it. Oh Jesus! Especially once you get to grad school, because then the professors have like if they want to make the class interesting, well, seminars by the time you get to grad, if they want to make the seminars interesting, they're fantastically interesting. But if they want to turn it into a personal indoctrination seminar, oh, they have every ability to do so. And some do. And it becomes really just, what the fuck? They'll bring up stuff that's like way off topic. And you just because it promotes their views of feminism in some cases, when it's like the subject at hand isn't about feminism or isn't about women's oppression or anything of the kind, and then they will bring it up and shoehorn it into the subject. And it would be nice to be able to say, doctor,
doctor,
can you like help me understand how this relates to the subject at hand, or more importantly, can we get back to the subject at hand?
No,
you can't interrupt them and tell them that, look, that you're getting off on a tangent. You
assigned one whole book, 3 chapters out of another book, and 4 extremely dense academic articles as the required reading for this week. I did all of those and took notes on all of them to be able to discuss them intelligently over this 3-hour seminar. And you keep going off subject to things that are within your personal wheelhouse of ideology. Can we move back to that's where a lot of for me, the upset came from, where it's like the sheer amount of reading that you assign to be able to be up to date for the given seminars and to be able to write the papers is monstrous. And it's like, I don't shy away from heavy workload, but it all seems to be rendered useless because you spend an entire seminar talking about your own subjects and worldview.
It's the way I feel about when you have my job. I don't mind working hard. I hate working hard and then feeling like I did it for nothing. I hate working my ass off to make sure something is done correctly and then turn around and some idiot in the upper management decides to just stomp all over it and totally undo or not read the report that I painstakingly created or whatever, You feel like you've wasted your time and you're like, what the fuck am I even here for,
Yeah, I feel that.
Especially when it's, you're mixing in a political ideological bent to it, like, hey, I'm going to sit here and I can't say that word with these teeth in my mouth.
Prophesize.
I can't say it. When you're going to sit there and push an agenda with, on top of that, I can imagine it's just all the more frustrating. So I feel your pain there in that regard. Like, you've worked your ass off studying all this stuff, reading all this stuff, memorizing it, and then they're not even going to address any of it. You're just like, what did I waste my time for?
I didn't really have that amount of it in classes where it wasn't going to be relevant, if that makes any sense. So like in all my STEM classes, most of the psychology classes that I took, and all of the CS classes, they were pretty well focused on the topic at hand because we had curriculum to get through, and it was pretty cut and dry. Like this day was dedicated to this algorithm, or this day was dedicated to this algorithm and practicing. But when you got to, for instance, when we talked about human cultures, the humanities specifically, that would be where people would delve off into left field. And it only ever happened with that human cultures class, really, to be quite frank. But that was because the class was specifically relegated to encompass a whole bunch of hot button issues, because that was the point of the class in the graduation requirements that it had to fulfill, is it had to talk about diversity and privilege and power dynamics and whatnot.
Uh-huh.
There was a lot of discussion about gender and sexuality, and we spent a solid day about that that tribe that forces little boys to eat semen in Africa. I kid you not. Yeah, just to be like, oh, well, you have to appreciate all cultures because all cultures are beautiful, and I'm like, not that one.
Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's like a rite of passage for this culture in Africa. I don't remember what country specifically, but there is a ritual wherein the little boys, in order to become men, have to eat the semen of the elder men of the tribe, I think.
You.
Yeah. Yep. And thank you, Lanny Stanfield, for the donation over on the Super Chats. We had a professor who gave us an answer key for a final exam after we busted our asses off studying for it. Well, at least you busted your ass, so now you know this content. So hopefully it was relevant to what it is that you do today.
Has a professor ever signed their own book for a class? Yes. Yeah, that's happened several times.
I've never had that happen.
Daniel asks Eve, any cosplay items, clothes that you would love to have? Oof. Boy, do I need to go get my list. Because it's rolled up in a scroll about this wide and about this thick. You know, I'm just going to go. Exhibit A. No, there's definitely things that I would love to be able to cosplay, but cosplay is kind of a moot point right now. So, like, I could probably dress up and take pictures, but it's just not the same as going to a con.
Oh my god, Race Jacobson. Masculine bukkake. Oh my god.
Ugh.
That's not a scroll. Well, my mic was in the way. I wanted to, like, roll it out properly and just be like...
Where do vampires place on the progressive stack? Asks Race Jacobson. Eve?
On the top, obviously, where we belong.
Nerd! And guess what, guys? We're overtime.
We are.
Like, we're 2 minutes over the time that is overtime.
No, I was stating we are.
Oh. Yeah. Okay, so we'll start with Eve first. Eve, do you have anything that you want to show before it is that we leave?
I mean, my links are in the description down below, right next to Polly and Weebo's. So
yes.
Weebo did a very, very comprehensive job and got all of them. Like, damn, girl.
Thorough like that.
You got my Twitch, my Twitter. You got the S&M YouTube and the S&M Twitter, and you can put my Streamlabs down there. Goddamn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no. Come watch my shit. I do stream pretty much almost every night of the week, except for probably. This is the only night of the week I don't usually stream, and I'm streaming tonight with these two, so I'll probably stream every night this week on one form or another on one of those channels below. So.
Well, I'm glad we could snag you tonight instead of having you be elsewhere.
Yeah, no, you said you pushed it back and you weren't busy. I'm like, well, I'll be home from the store by then. And you've been talking about having me on for a while. Mm-hmm. Hey, do you want to do it tonight? And you're like, yeah, sure.
Woohoo!
I'm glad it worked out the way that it did.
I'm glad too.
All right.
And Polly loves me despite all his bullshit of acting like I don't listen to him and I don't care about him or whatever.
It's true.
Good. All right, Polly.
Which part?
Sadly, both.
Okay. I do love you and care about you, you dumbass.
Oh boy. Polly.
My channel, you can go over there and find Comic Book Curation, which happens every Wednesday, and it's great fun where Jack and Quiz and I talk about everything in and around comics, and also occasionally we do Noir Bar. We did one last night. It was great fun. We sit around and talk about all kinds of bar-related things. I'm usually drunk and also caffeinated. It's great fun. So yeah, and then occasional videos pop up where I do different things. The last one was me ranting about how Sean King is an unrepentant scumbag hustler, trying to pretend that he's got some kind of righteous conviction, and he doesn't. Anyway, yeah, check out my channel. Great times, great fun.
Don't forget the live reads.
Oh yeah, there's live reads too.
He did an amazing read of the Declaration of Independence for 4th of July. You guys should definitely go check that out.
Yes,
That was the best way to start my 4th of July was waking up and clicking play on that video. It's the first thing I saw when I woke up. So, see, I can be nice to Polly.
You can. You just aren't.
I just choose not to be most of the time because it's fun here.
All right. Is it my turn? I think it's my turn.
Mm-hmm.
Unless Polly wants to shill our collab that he probably hasn't started yet.
What? The 90 minutes of material I have to edit down to 15?
Have you started it, though?
I did. I actually imported it into the editing software and started cutting it up.
We've made progress.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'll take it.
Cool.
I'm going to keep bugging you about this because this is a fun meme. Okay, all right, my turn. So I just have one last movie left to watch before it is that I get into the nitty-gritty regarding our collab, Polly, and then we can do that recording probably this weekend. But other than that, I also have a video coming out. It's kind of like a how-to guide on how to defeat racism. And that is available for members and patrons currently. I'm waiting for it to get cleared by the copyright monsters and for advertisements. So it'll probably come out in the next couple of days because that's usually how long it takes for me to get cleared. Definitely before Friday. On top of that, I'm working on a thought patrol, but that's going to take a little bit more time because I want to make sure I'm very thorough with this one because there's a lot of little intricate details that I want to ensure that I have absolutely 100% accurate before I get it out. Not that I don't do that already, but there's a lot more of them in this. So the exhibits file is going to be massive. In addition to that, I have... let me see my to-do list. I'm toying with the notion of doing another video that has to do with Title IX revisions and another Weebo hot takes. To toss up which one of those is going to go first. I don't know yet, but we will see. And I definitely have a whole bunch of content on the horizon, especially to make up for the fact that I have been negligent in my output over the last week. It's been about 10 days since my last output, and I am so sorry about that, guys. So sorry.
I mean, I guess we'll forgive you this once.
I feel bad whenever I miss a week, and in this case, it could not have been helped. Anyway, join the Discord. We're going to play games probably tomorrow night. We're going to be doing Conan Exiles, and then Wednesday night, we have movie night, which is Spaceballs. Woo-hoo! As far as I'm aware right now, the voting hasn't finished, and it won't until 8 p.m. Central Standard Time on Wednesday. So after that, we will know for certain. But right now, it's looking like it's Spaceballs. Anyway, we will be on this channel next week. Not the same time, because I will be in town this weekend. So it will be Saturday, which is the new time, but is the correct time. Saturday, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Right, Polly? We agreed on that, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, good. I want to make sure that I'm not going crazy. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. Chat, thank you so much for being here and for all of your lovely comments. We appreciate you, and having the ability to interact with you is very, very nice. Thank you to those who will be watching later on, and thank you to those who have commented, shared, subscribed, liked, and maybe disliked too, because we love that interaction. Specifically, thank you and shout out to Assassins of the Grey for constantly posting the links in the chat, by the way. Dude, you are a baller. Go you. We stand that in this household. Anyway, anyone else?
No.
Nope.
Before we leave?
That's all I've got.
Anything else to add? No? Okay. Then bye-bye.
Bye.
Good riddance.
Have a good night, everyone. Thank you for the donations. You're awesome.
Bye.
Bye.